New York, New York, big city of dreams. Good morning, NYC. It is time to start your day. Yeah, on this Friday, and it is time once again for Mic Check. We got some good stuff lined up for you as always. So let's go ahead and bring in the fellas. Joined by political strategist Jaha Howard, author Dante Stewart, author of this great book right here, and comedian Shang Forbes hanging out with us this morning. What's up, fellas? Let's get right into it, man, because first up, of course, big game is a couple of days away, the Super Bowl. That's been overshadowed by the Brian Flores racial discrimination lawsuit, a huge topic Commissioner Roger Goodell had to address at his State of the Union. Take a listen.
I think we made a tremendous amount, a lot of progress in a lot of areas, but not at the head coach. And that is something that is something we really have focused on to try to get the kind of results that we would expect. And we fell short of that by a long shot for us.
Jaha, let's start off with you. Goodell says he's looking into ways to improve diversity in the coaching ranks. They're doing all they can. They believe in diversity, but what more should be done?
All I'll say is if I had a family member that was in a bad relationship for a long time and 10 years, 8 years later, they're saying, okay, I knew I was supposed to do this and that, but that was my intention, but it looks like we fell short, but they only brought that up after somebody went to court. We got a problem, and it's been a problem for a long time. So the sense of urgency is what's bothering me right now as well.
Yeah, so once again, you can believe in something and not necessarily embrace it. I made this point the other day. You can believe in ghosts. You don't necessarily want ghosts inside your house. So, Dante, when it comes to this, look, a lot of black people support the National Football League. There was a poll that said 80% of black people either are big-time fans or casual fans of the National Football League. Do you think if black folks stop watching, stop supporting the National Football League in droves, do you think the NFL will start trying to change its ways or doing a better job of changing its ways?
Yeah, I have a complicated relationship with that question because a part of me says yes, but then also I think the whiteness of the structure doesn't really care about, whether or not we invest in that space or not. They're going to go on with their show regardless. But I do think we have to consider how we actually, as black people, have power within that space. And I played football at Clemson University, and so it's also complicated as an athlete. This is how we make our livelihood. I have a lot of my friends who are even playing this weekend in the Super Bowl. But we also have to take into account that we don't just want to think about how we can, enjoy the game of football, but we also have to think about how they think about black people in general. And the NFL has proven itself again and again to benefit from our creativity, from our art, from our production, but they care little about the conditions or the communities that black people come from.
Yeah.
Shane, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, no, man. It kills me when people try to act like, well, what should we do? Stop being racist. How about that? How about we start with stop being racist? Let's go there. Okay, first off, let's stop being so racist, and then maybe we can work it out. And you know what, Goodell, just with his befuddled, he sounded so befuddled. That was some befuddled stuff right there. But what we need to do, that's like you beat your woman for 10 years, and then you go, you know what? I'm not gonna kick you in the stomach this morning, but tomorrow you getting kicked in the stomach. So I mean, stop it. They need to get themselves together with that. Stop it.
Yeah, we got to get rid of all that. All right, so speaking of befuddled, how befuddled did Mike McDaniel sound, fellas? Look, they hired two coaches who were not white this offseason, but if you listen to Mike McDaniel, that number may actually be just one. Take a listen.
This idea of identifying as something, I think people identify me as something, but I identify as a human being. And my dad's black, so whatever you want to call it, I've just tried to be a good person, and I think my background opens my eyes a little bit. I don't have any real experience with racism because, I think you identify me as something close to, I don't know, but I know my mom experienced it when she married my dad. I know my dad experienced it, and that's in my family. But I guess that makes me a human being that can identify with other people's problems.
Man.
I know.
Jaha.
Give him a Scooby snack.
Okay, so I was trying to be fair. I was like, clearly it was just a clip. I was like, let me go back and read the transcript for context. Let's be fair. And then it made it worse. Like, even before that question, they were asking about, they kind of alluded to what just happened, what's happening with the lawsuit, what you're stepping into. And this dude is just like, the owner is just so great. If I was spending all this money, I'd be looking at every corner to make sure we can get better and all that. And then you come with this, I guess racism kind of existed. I heard about it from my mom, I think my dad. Like, it's right there in your own organization. And for you to say my eyes are open, you're basically saying everybody else who's talking about racism, they don't see. They're not seeing properly. But you are the enlightened one. He literally just all lives mattered this thing. All lives mattered.
Yeah.
In a terrible way.
I mean, you talking about, he said that he didn't see any red flags. But let me play devil's advocate here. So this man, obviously, when you look at him on the outside looking in, you can't tell he may have a little black in him. So maybe he's never experienced racism. He's never seen. So is it fair for us to say, okay, you need to identify a certain way because you have black blood in you if you've never had that experience? Go ahead.
Mike,
go ahead, Dante. Go ahead, John.
Real quick, y'all. I've been vice president of the Light Skin Coalition for a long time, and you gotta do something with your light skinness. You can't just
hold on. Whoa.
Yeah, I've been vice president.
Shang objects.
That vote, Shang, it was a nasty vote. You've been mad about it ever since. I've been vice president for a long time. And we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, but
the point is, like, you can't just ignore that, okay? You can't ignore it. And he's choosing to ignore that part of the past. So I just wanted to share that.
But here's the thing. If he gets pulled over by the police, they're gonna look and sorry, sir. They're gonna address him the right way. Dante, if you get pulled over, if all of us get pulled over by the police, it's not gonna have that kind of privilege. He's been able to get away with that because if you look at him from the outside looking in, he does not look completely black or like he's got some black blood in him. So Dante, when it comes to that, and I made this point before, how do you feel about black men or men who have black blood in them only being black when it's convenient for them?
Yeah, I think it's problematic. I don't know anything about his upbringing, Mike McDaniel's background, but he clearly does. And I think by his statements and the way he frames himself, his mother, and his father within the context of what he calls "quote unquote" other people's struggles, he knows very much about what it means to be black inside of this society, and he knows that his life up until this point has benefited from the lack of that self-identification. And so when he comically states that his mother experienced it, and I guess my daddy experienced it, he clearly shows that he knows that his non-experiencing of what blackness is in this culture and this country has brought him benefits. And one of the important things about this whole thing about assimilation and lack of self-identification, two things. Number one, usually when black people get in white spaces, the longer we're in those institutions, the less we identify with blackness and have solidarity with black people. And secondly, what that does is it brings us power and benefits. So it is beneficial to identify as a human being instead of being black because you don't have to carry the burden, nor I would call the blessing. As Imani Perry would say, racism, blackness is not. And what this coach has done in this statement is actually very cynical, especially given the context of Brian Flores and his statements regarding the plantation politics of the NFL. It's very cynical to have somebody, and I would even call it very anti-black, to have somebody publicly parrot comments like that, especially during Black History Month. So it's very problematic.
Especially during Black History. Yeah, and the irony, Shang, is real quick, Shang, about 30 seconds. The irony is he's replacing Brian Flores who brought about this lawsuit to start this huge conversation all over again this year. 20 seconds for you, Shane.
Man, look, he goofy. Let's keep it real. That's first off. He's goofy, and he definitely needs a Scooby snack. The second thing is, I don't identify all dogs, but I know when a pit bull is biting me. There's a difference between it. It's like, well, I'm human. I'm human. Stop it. Okay, first off. All right, stop it. So the end of the day, he basically tried to take what he thought was a politically correct answer, and what he did was make himself look like a flat out fool. And you can see he tries to lean towards, well, I don't know, my mom said that black people used to get chased by white people. That's what I heard. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. Yo.
Yeah, it's goofy. It's crazy. He ain't black. He OJ. Like OJ until OJ needed to be black and he needed to support black people. Let's just say that.